Welcome to another episode of Being There, my friends. And now that you're here, you're going to join us as we explore our interests into the worlds of music, poker, and life. I'm a professional poker player, television commentator, and personal coach for those trying to better their lives both on and off the poker felt.
Hey guys, I'm Blake Ian, musician, producer, and tech entrepreneur. And today we're going to listen to some music by a young artist from a band called 1-2-10. We have their singer Andrew May with us today, and we're going to listen to one of his songs now.
We're joined now by Andrew May, the lead singer of 1-2-10, not 1-10, 1-2-10. Andrew, thank you for joining us, and we're excited to listen to 1-2-10's newest release.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me. It's awesome.
So yeah, we're going to take a listen to the song, and I'll have it streaming for everybody who's watching, and then we'll be right back.
Take it slow, lose control. I don't care. Save your face, leave some space so they don't stare too long. Cause you're too shy and you never wanna be seen. In the end, we can spend a lifetime telling lies, diamond eyes, and sipping on the cheapest wine. But it's all fine because that's who you wanna be. It's so hard to say the truth. Say, you know, I don't wanna be broken down. I wanna say, let go of your silly little bit of crowds, because the way you are is a part of who you are. You're not alone. Oh, just say it's okay with me. You're too smart, you're too told, too easy. You can shine, redefine what it means to be the person that you want everybody to see. It's your choice, hear your voice in your heart. Listen to the words, they are a part of something greater. Let me hear you say now, not later. Maybe you'll start to say the truth. Say, you know, I don't wanna be broken down. I wanna say, let go of your silly little bit of frowns, because the way you are is a part of who you are. You're not alone. Oh, just say it's okay with me. You'll start to follow your heart. You'll start to say the truth. Say, you know, I don't wanna be broken down. I wanna say, let go of your silly little bit of frowns, because the way you are is a part of who you are. You're not alone. Oh, say, you know, I don't wanna be broken down. I wanna say, let go of your silly little bit of frowns, because the way you are is a part of who you are. You're not alone. Oh, just say it's okay with me. Oh, say it's okay with me. Say it's okay with me.
Nice, man.
Thank you.
Very nice, man. The production is phenomenal.
Thank you.
Those are your vocals, right?
Yeah.
You sing?
Yeah.
Yeah. You sound great. Great
Thank you.
performance.
Thank you. Yeah, it was actually, the whole song itself was so much fun to record. We when we recorded our first album, we gave ourselves a lot of time to kind of work on songs and try and build them, and it was very minimal with a lot of our first album. And so when we decided to go in with a single on the song, we spent days just trying to figure out the simplest things, and it just got progressively more and more complicated, and it was just a fun experience.
Yeah, the simplest things are the hardest ones, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring that up. I'm going to bring that up in the life section. The simplest things are the hardest ones.
But yeah, no, I think, look, I mean, the tones, the performances are all super tight. I mean, you can tell you put a lot of work into it for sure. It's not, it's really, really tight. Your voice sounds great. Just the arrangement. It's super, super professional, super well done. And it's poppy and it's catchy, which I assume is what you're going for, right? It reminds me a bit of like, and I have a habit of hearing new music and then saying it reminds me a bit of this. Like, so I do that constantly. But because for some reason my brain always wants to be like, oh, it's in this area of music. But I think it reminds me a little bit of Imagine Dragons. A little bit. Do you guys listen to them? Is that an influence of yours, or?
Yeah.
I don't really know them that well, to be honest. I just have heard a few songs, and that's what it sort of reminds me of. So I don't know them that well.
We, with the style of our music, we're trying to go for, still have a lot of rock influence, but have a lot of modern pop, kind of mixed in with our music. And so, yeah, we do strive to kind of sound like guys like Imagine Dragons, Walk the Moon, Panic at the Disco, and
yeah. And also, I hear a little bit of a band that I do love, which is the Killers. You know those guys?
Oh yeah, love the Killers. Been listening to Killers since I was little. So yeah,
it's like a power pop rock kind of thing. Yeah, but it's good. I mean, look, I think you're executing exactly what you're trying to execute. I think I was saying to Kenna earlier, music's subjective, so I never ever throw out an adjective like good or bad or anything positive or negative. It's all neutral. It's just a matter of, except for certain things like, again, performance, production. Those are the things I'm commenting on because those are things you can control. If you want to make something very, high level production quality, and you accomplish that, it's not easy to do. And you've done that. Some people want to do a very lo-fi recording and they can accomplish that. So, but as far as the songs themselves, I do believe there's pretty much an audience for every artist in and out of music. And I think it's a matter of finding your audience, getting your art to their ears. And, I think some people's art has 1,000 ears that want to listen to it, and some people's art has, millions. But in my opinion, it's just about getting the art to your audience and not necessarily convincing anybody else if they're not the right audience, So I don't know. Those are
how do young artists? We're talking to Andrew May now, and we're going to bring on an artist in a few minutes here. One that you manage right now, Blake. They have these challenges of doing just what you just said, getting it to the ears, or in video today, to the eyes of the listeners. And there's that big chasm they have to cross. What are some practical things they can do, but also what are some of the internal things that artists have to overcome to kind of reach those ears, to bridge that chasm, to cross that bridge?
Well, there's that stuff's changing all the time, obviously, with technology. The differences between when I went to, a music conservatory in 1998 to what it's like today in 2020, it's like a different world, and that world was kind of starting to change just when I was going into school. And so with even the way the music's being made, and what it's being produced on, like Pro Tools was like a new thing being introduced to the college right when I went there. So there were still tape machines all over the place, right? They were just not being used as much. So as far as the getting it out there, the promotion and distribution, which Distribution is pretty easy at this point. Fortunately, for an independent artist, distribution, you can, release a song like you guys did, Andrew, like I did last week or 2 weeks ago, and that song is now on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon, Google, blah 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 blah. It's available on Instagram Stories, and you just basically submitted it to one, aggregator, whether it's CD Baby, TuneCore, one of those probably is who you use, and so that's in a 10-minute process, you have your song globally available. That is huge because in 35, 40 years ago, you had to be involved with truck companies that had drivers that were driving CDs and setting up, promotional things in record stores. And, that took a lot of money. It took a lot of big relationships, and the major labels had the major distribution. Now, major labels, what do they have on distribution that I don't have, or Andrew doesn't have in 5 seconds?
Yeah.
So, what they do have still is promotion. However, we know obviously with social media, Instagram, these kinds of things that, promotion can be do-it-yourself as well at this point, and it can be scrappy. And so, Instagram is everything right now. It still is. It's still the reigning king of social media. It's where artists get noticed. YouTube is pretty big as well for music, but yeah, so it's about growing a following. And then speaking of major labels, they're going to want you to come with a following. That gives you leverage for getting a deal or getting the right deal with them. And so they're going to want you to come with, a lot of ears attached to your music or to your art already. So that's really the progression at this point.
And I guess that's awesome. And the following really, I guess, happens because of your message and your feel and your sound, and right. You put a message out there.
I think that's the hook. I think that's not the hook. That's the stickiness. The hook is more of an effort. The hook is more of an effort of digital marketing, promotion type stuff that is not necessarily tied to your message or your music. Mm-hmm. It's just, you just got to go out there and find those right people. And then of course, those people are going to stick and stay with you when they hear your message or when they hear your art, and if it touches them,
Yeah.
Right.
And, from our perspective, distribution altogether has been extremely simple. I think when it comes to distribution of your music, it's literally at the tip of your fingers. It's so simple. What we've struggled with, and what we've started to accomplish now is building off of trends. Because the thing is, you can distribute and you can promote as much as you possibly want, but with so many other artists and so many different genres of music and things that people have the availability to listen to, it becomes harder to be that one in a million. And so for us, it's been about trying to connect with people within our age group and people within that spectrum that can understand your music and that will follow you. So it's a matter of trying to hop on trends and make challenges and just engage people. And I think that that's one of the hardest things for artists right now, is because there are so many artists with the same availability as we do.
Mm-hmm. I playlists have been a pretty new, important part of promoting your music on these platforms. So that's a lot of how people are discovering music now, is they follow these curators of playlists, and whatever they put into their new playlist, they're going, so their playlist curators have sort of become the new DJ that we used to have back in the day of listening to the radio. What the radio DJ decided to play is what you heard, and then you went and found out more, and then you went and saw them at a show. So playlist curators have become a big thing, and I've really just recently started to dig into that, and it's pretty interesting, and it's nice because you can reach, back in the day, only really labels and again, this is sort of breaking down of the barriers that the major labels had and don't have anymore, is that we can reach out to a playlist curator, and there's even mediator platforms that help you reach out to hundreds of playlists or thousands of playlist curators. So there's a lot of this stuff available, and
that's great, man.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it.
That's great. That's just great advice, and we just have a couple more minutes, and we're gonna move on. But I just want to ask one thing lyrically to you, Andrew, on the song, because it just really, sometimes I get goosebumps when I listen to it, especially I was able to hear you play it live or when you were warming up before it actually got released. And I just got goosebumps because the vibe of the song live just really takes over you, you know? Lyric in there. It's so hard to say the truth.
Yeah.
Where did you find that lyric, and why do you, for your generation, why is it hard to say the truth, and how did you come up with that lyric, or where did that come from?
I think it's perspective. You know, our generation, everything is so easily editable, right? So you have to think like pictures that are posted on Instagram or posts that are put on Facebook, different things, they're all fabricated. You know, people wait months before posting stuff like that. And so I feel like a lot of what people my age and kids struggle with nowadays is that, you know, a lot of things are about image. And so it's hard to say the truth. It's hard to just kind of truly be yourself. And I think that's what that's the whole point of the song. It's about accepting the person that you are, you know, being goofy, being silly, you know, liking something that maybe other people don't like. It you know, that's who you are. And that's who people love. We can like as many people as we want in the world, but the people that you truly love and the people that you truly care about are the people that are sitting there and telling you the truth and being honest with you and being real with you and being their real self. So I think with that lyric, you know, it's repeated throughout the song, and it's because nowadays it is hard to say the truth. It's hard to just be honest with yourself and be accepting of yourself and of others and change. And I think that's, you know, that's the whole point of the song is just learn to accept things in life, learn to accept who you are, and don't let people put you down just because you think differently of something, you know?
Beautiful.
Well said, man. Well said.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, you have, before we let you go, you got my friend, my music producer, manager over there. Any question for yourself, your group, your all young artists that would love to ask the type of question of someone like him before we go?
Yeah, actually, you know, one big question and something that, you know, the guys and I have been talking about is with the current state that we're in with the coronavirus and us all kind of being in this quarantine, you know, how as a young artist and without being able to play shows and do a lot of this promotion and stuff, how do we do that now? Is it just limited to social media? Is it, you know, just recording videos? And are there any other options for kind of getting out there and being able to distribute your music other than just kind of keeping on social media?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. It's obviously super relevant right now, and I've been faced with obviously the same question. And so I think there's a few different thoughts that come to mind. One, there's certainly a lot of technology. Fortunately, we do live in this time right now of technology, because can you imagine going through this right now without, you know, your phone and your computer and Zoom and Netflix?
Yeah.
You know, we're at least fortunate to have lots of entertainment at home, but and do things like work from home. But I recorded my most recent single remotely entirely. My drummer was in one studio in Brooklyn. I was here doing vocals and guitar in Palm Beach, Florida. You know, the bass player, keyboard player, guitarist were in a different studio. So, you know, the technology exists. So yes, should you be doing online live, you know, Instagram lives, Facebook lives, YouTube live streams? Absolutely. I mean, why would you not, right? Not only because it's your only option right now, or the easiest option right now, but also because people are home and they're not going out. So they need more stuff. They need more content. So there's actually a market, a demand for more and more content right now, right? And everybody's watching Tiger King on Netflix, but you know, they could be they could be watching you guys play music, which is kind of like, you know, I'm gonna love Tiger King, but I'd rather, you know, or both at least. So I think that's my first thought, and then my second thought is adaptation is how things survive. I saw a really great post yesterday that said something about it's not the strongest or the most intelligent that survive through the natural selection. It's the species or animal that adapts, really. It's not necessarily the most flexible. So, adapt, yes, use all the technology that's already there, but also maybe invent. I think adaptation, evolution is about inventing. It's about new things, necessity is the mother of invention, right? So you have this necessity of how do we do this? I think it's one part what exists that we can use right now. YouTube live stream. What doesn't exist that we can kind of create? How can we do this? How can we get real creative right now? So I think that's my response.
Well, what a beautiful answer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And I mean, that's what a lot of young artists need right now. It's just, that advice to keep going, don't stop just because the world's stopping.
Yeah.
That's right. And
the world's never going to stop. It's just going to keep changing.
It's not going to stop. It keeps going.
Yeah. It's just changing, and it's drastically changing.
Whatever it is,
and
80.
I don't think this is, I don't think this is a temporary change where we go back to. I mean, I hope it's not. We go back to how it was before. Rarely do we ever go back to how it was before. I think things will change. I think there'll be a lot more people working from home. I think there'll be a lot more parents, putting their kids through online schooling now and saying maybe they don't need to go back to the school. This is working out fine. So I think there'll be a lot of changes. And so I think anything that you kind of create for this type of society will have some legs, going forward, not just for this time.
Stay ahead of the curve, baby. And thanks for spending some time with us, sharing your music and all you guys do. Blake's going to put it out there. We'll have the links where they can come and listen to all your other music as well. But keep creating, keep up to the standard and the level that you guys are doing. It's really something special. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys both for putting us on, and we appreciate, everything that you guys have done. And, we just, for us, it's just, we hope everybody's doing well and just really, we're glad guys like you were doing stuff like this. It's cool.
All right, Kenna, that was another great show. Thanks for having this set up, and thanks everybody for joining us. I'm Blake Ian.
And I'm Kenna James. Join us next time as we continue to explore music, poker, and life. Thanks, everyone, for being there.